Good day, viewers. Today you join us with another Range Rover, the L405 facelift. This is a 2020 model here in Portofino blue. And this car has been in Tristan's family for...
A little over a year and 2 months, about 14 months. This is actually my wife's car. This is her daily driver.
Now, this being a facelift model, we talked about this a little bit in our previous L405 video. The main visual differences between this and the pre-facelift model basically revolve around the headlights, the tail lights, and the grille. As you see, the grille on the facelift model is a bit more geometric and streamlined, as are the lights. The lights are just more kind of LED-ified and less rounded, especially with the inner bulbs. With the tail lights, it's kind of the same story. They're just a little bit more minimal. With this version, the taillights lose the lower portion kind of stripes that were on the old one, and they're just two squares in a more minimalist look.
I think this is the peak of Range Rover, at least for me. The design visually and the interior, although I still don't like the infotainment in here. I've not had a chance to play with the newer models, might be better. But just the whole silhouette of the car, especially from behind, it looks very menacing with the almost pointed back end. It's beautiful to me.
I think it's funny that every Range Rover review we've done on this channel, we've pretty much said that car is the best Range Rover you can get. And I mean, I like Range Rovers too much to be able to say which generation I think is the best. I think it looks far better than the most recent model. I think that one's just a bit too blocky. But I think with this gen, any color looks really good. I really love this Portofino blue. It looks tremendously sophisticated, along with the dark blue and cream colored interior. I think it's just this is arguably a perfect spec. Again, green over tan is the ultimate Range Rover spec, but this again comes close.
This being the facelifted model, the interior is a little different. This has a dual touchscreen, and the top is your multimedia, and then the bottom screen is a lot larger. You can also control your multimedia from that, but you can also control your climate, your seats, and the settings of the vehicle. And of course, your top screen is the navigation as well.
I have to say, this is the first Range Rover or JLR product that we have owned or looked at that has a nice infotainment system. I think with this generation, they finally got it right. And just the whole interface, it just looks really clean and smooth. And it really gives you the luxury feeling that I think the previous generation Range Rovers or Jaguar products that we have, that just doesn't cut it. I mean, that being said, those cars are a lot older, and this is a 2020 model, so you'd expect it to be a bit more up to date in terms of the tech.
I will say, devil's advocate, I still think the infotainment is dim-witted and slow. It's not as responsive as you would like it to be. It does not have wireless Apple CarPlay, which being a 2020, there's no excuse for that.
That kind of sucks.
And it's just slow. Some of the features are a little bit clunky, like to get the fan blower speed to change, you have to tap a button and then turn the passenger
that's cool,
dial
I think that's cool.
I don't want to have to do all that while I'm driving. That's too much to do. I just want to turn a knob and be done, or slide something on the screen and be done with it. I do like that you can click the knobs, much like an Xbox or PlayStation controller, to control your heated and ventilated seats.
That's what I like. It's a very tactile experience, and it keeps you away from having to dig into the infotainment like you have to do with the pre-facelift model, which does suck. And
that is the worst infotainment system I have ever seen in a car.
It's great. The worst. And when you get into the car...
And it's the same one I have in my Jag, so I have experience with it. It's awful.
When you get into the car on a hot day like today and you just want to put the cooled seats on immediately, you have to wait for it to wake up first. And then if you put it into reverse, then the camera comes up, so you can't do the seats. And then it takes several more seconds after that, after you've actually set off.
I will say myself, about to be in the market for a new SUV. Range Rover wise, I still wouldn't get a Sport even with an SVR because it does not have the split tailgate, which having a small child, changing a diaper on the tailgate makes it so much easier and everything is so much more accessible.
It's also just kind of an aesthetics thing too. I think
Yes.
people who don't own a car with a split tailgate might not understand why. It's just a kind of a cool thing, I think. It gives you a little place to sit.
Even design-wise, I just think the facelifted L405 is just the best. I don't want to get a new one because I don't like the interior. I think it looks too minimalistic, like they shopped for it at IKEA.
I maintain that the most recent Range Rover has gone a little bit too Scandinavian inspired in terms of the design.
Whereas, it's minimalistic.
Yeah, this car is kind of the ultimate version of
this is more English
and
in
sophisticated English design.
And with that, we will take it over to my wife and get her opinion on this car. After all, it is hers. She drives it a lot more than me.
All right.
Hello again, viewers, and welcome back. You join us on the inside of the L405 facelifted model. This beside me is my lovely wife, Leah, and as mentioned, this is her car. So she's going to do most of the talking on this as I ask her some questions. So you came from a 2015 Toyota RAV4.
I sure did.
What made you change? Why did you choose this?
Well, I mean, besides the fact you told me to.
Yep.
Well, I had Toyotas all of my young life. I always liked Toyotas. They were always great little cars. I never had issues with them. But as I advanced in my career with my degrees, had a couple rough years lately, and I decided I kind of wanted to splurge and upgrade. So all of my in-laws have Range Rovers, really liked them, thought they were really nice, thought they were luxurious and fancy looking, and I was going to be a bougie bee and get one too.
I had all lined up for her. We were going to go look at BMW X7s, Toyota 4Runners, Toyota Sequoias, Escalades, Yukons, Tahoes. First place we went was the Jaguar Land Rover dealer, and we walked away with the first car that she looked at. What are some of the things that you like about this car?
Well, since having our baby, one of the biggest things for me was safety. I wanted something super safe, something I could drive around in the winter with a baby, in the snow, different terrain, not worry. So I wanted something that was super safe.
That RAV4, I did not feel confident driving in the snow with that. It was all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It went up the trails real good in West Virginia, but it did not feel planted in the snow. This, though, you just put it in drive and it goes. Sometimes you can feel the computer telling which wheel, how much power it needs to get going from a dead stop, but this is the most planted and confident thing I've ever driven in the snow.
Yeah, that was a huge thing for me because, I mean, we live in Pennsylvania. We see a lot of snow and ice. We all hate it, but I wanted something safe, mostly because of our son. And the fact that it looks pretty doesn't hurt.
What else do you like? You gotta like something else than that.
I like the heads-up display. I've never seen that before in my life, and I thought that was really neat. The navigation pops up right on the heads-up display, which is like on the bottom of the windshield on the passenger or driver's side. It shows what your speed is, what you're driving at. Also, will show you the speed limit,
which is not always accurate. Sometimes it says that you're in a school zone and the speed limit should be 80. So
Yeah, but I mean, still cool. And then when you're listening to music or podcast, or when you're listening to something, when the next song comes on or next episode, whatever you're listening to, the track title will pop up, which I think is nice too.
One thing that I do love is on the second screen, it will show you the album artwork for the song you're listening to and the dial cluster. And then on the left is the multimedia, and that shows you the artwork for the album in the background. And then on the right is the navigation. This also being the facelifted L405, the ambient lighting in the original model, you can only set the ambient lighting to one color. In the facelifted model, you have a 3-level zone. So you have above the B-pillars for the seat belts, the middle with the center console, and then your feet. You can
I have a lot of fun
to,
with the ambient lighting.
Yes, she sets it to holiday colors. So right
Sure
now
do.
it is red, white, and blue.
It's red, white, and blue right now. And yeah, so Christmas, it'll be red and green. Easter, I have like purple, red, yellow. You know, I set it for holidays. It just makes me happy. So I really like the ambient lighting too.
As we've said on this channel many times, this is the best family car you can get.
Yeah,
you can put the kids in it, load the dog up in the boot, and off you go.
Yeah, I like how it also has a little fridge in here too, which I liked the thought of because, you know, taking drinks or formula or something like that.
We have used
little
it for
fridge. Yeah, little fridge in there to keep things nice and cool. If you're going for a little bit of a further drive.
Bit of a gimmick, but we do use it and it does work as intended.
I like it.
Now, what are some things you don't like about the vehicle?
Some things well, I mean, we already talked about the entertainment system being slow. Sometimes that can be a little bit annoying. Sometimes it takes a minute for things to load with navigation. There's not a lot that I don't like, though. Overall, it's been really good.
Have you had any issues with the car? I don't know why I'm asking you, I know. Because I've had to deal with them.
Issues, I mean, I've had a couple, but they were like minor fixes. Like it wasn't anything crazy. But
the only real issues we've had is right after we got it, it was a very, very minimal coolant leak, and it just took a while for the dealership to get the parts in.
But no, I mean, overall, I really do like this car. It was definitely an upgrade for me. It was something I was not used to.
The salesman at the dealership said, "We're getting you your badass mom car."
Yep. Because I felt like splurging a little bit. Like I said, it was a rough couple years. I worked hard to advance in my career, my degrees. So I was like, yeah, I became a mom, a badass mom now. So I was like, why not? But don't get me wrong, I did love the Toyotas. I really did.
I wanted you to look at a Sequoia.
This is great. This is good.